Today on Time to Invest, I'll be talking about how I screwed up so you can avoid making the same mistakes that I did. Man, did my first tenants ever suck. They were always late on rent payments. The amount of stress on my shoulders was huge. I was 22 years old, didn't really know what I was doing, and I had no idea how to screen tenants. I also had no job. That's right. The day my property closed was the same day I told my boss at the time to shove it. That day, I started my own business renovating properties for investors. And guess what? My property was project number 1. You can imagine the amount of stress I felt when the first of the month came and I had nothing but a shitty excuse about why the rent wasn't there. Thankfully, I only had them for about 6 months before I asked them to leave, or else I would start the eviction process. And even though they always pay the rent late, I still had to kick them out. So they took my threat seriously and left that weekend. Everything worked out. However, I knew I couldn't put up with that crap again. I had to step up my game and learn how to screen tenants. If you've been following me, you know that I always say to renovate the entire property before the first tenant moves in. This will put your business on autopilot because everything will be updated and it's less likely that things will break while the tenants are living there, which is the worst thing to deal with. The best part, a renovated home also attracts a higher quality tenant. And that's what I did. My property was easily the nicest rental in the neighborhood. I just chose bad tenants to live in my awesome home. So here's 3 quick tips to screening potential tenants. 1. Use your gut. If you get a really bad feeling about someone, go with your gut and move on. If you're buying in the right areas, another tenant will come by. 2. Verify their employment. Whenever a tenant applies for one of my properties, I always call their employer to make sure they actually work there. I also Google the company name to make sure it's a real business and not just their friend pretending to be their boss. And I always ask to speak to their supervisor and make sure that they're actually working 40 hours a week or whatever they told me. And I also ask if they're a good worker and if they're actually there on time. Sound too creepy? Too bad. 3. Do a credit check. Now, a lot of landlords put too much focus on this in my opinion. You have to expect that the potential tenant doesn't have the best credit rating, or else they'd be buying a property, not renting from you. If the credit rating is a little ugly, that's cool. What I'm really looking for is that they're paying their debts and that they're never late. If all 3 check out, they're good in my books. If this sounds like too much work, you can hire a property manager who will do all of this for you. I work with a ton of great property managers in the Kitchener-Waterloo area, so if you ever need one, just let me know. For more details on how to be a sophisticated real estate investor, click on the link below and get my book for free. I'll give you everything to building a great single-family investment portfolio. See you in the next video.